And welcome back to installment number 2 of Dan's Pro Shop Live. What? Why are we not doing the thing?
Are you sure?
That should be on the thing. It says we're live.
The phone says we're live, but the computer says otherwise. Oh, there we go.
Are we good?
There we go. We're good.
Are we good? Nice. All right, guys. Excuse the technical difficulties. All right, guys. But yeah, welcome back to installment number 2 of Dan's Pro Shop Live. Here with me is one of my best, probably oldest buddies, Seth. We quite literally grew up together. I mean, I don't know, what, kindergarten, first grade, something like that?
We've known each other for well over 25 years.
Quite literally attached at the hip, like we had mutual parents.
Pretty much. Yeah, seriously.
Growing up. So, you guys know the gig if you've been to the previous one. Just by all means, drop whatever you want in the comment section. And both of us, and or I, whatever, will try my best to get back to you with whatever you want. And in case you guys are unfamiliar of what the highlight of the process is here today, we are doing the official giveaway for the free Depth Tech inspection scope. So if you guys don't know what the deal is with that, 2 weeks ago, I think, I released a video reviewing a Depth Tech inspection scope. And Depth Tech was cool enough to send me another one specifically for one of you guys. All you had to do was watch that video, like it, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and comment Dan's Pro Shop in that video, and you will automatically be entered into the drawing that we're doing tonight. Whenever we get to that point, I will pull up a random comment generator here on the laptop. I'll spin it around so you can see that I'm doing it right in front of you. There's no tomfoolery. I'll put in all the criteria and that crap, and it will randomly pick a comment from that video based on if you're subscribed and you liked it and all that stuff. So here's hoping to one of you guys to nail that thing down. And just in case you haven't, you still got some time, I will drop a link for that video in the live chat here on this video. So excuse me for a moment while I do that, but it should be super duper easy for me to get that to you. We'll copy that guy and throw it in here. So there you go. I just posted the link for that video in the live chat of this one. So in case you didn't get in on it, go ahead and do that now to make sure you got the best chance you can to win some free stuff. So here we are. There's already some comments dropping. Boo's Machine. Hi, Dan and Seth. How are you doing? Boo. Jarrett, I wasn't going to have any icy lights today, but my God, we're here. Isn't that the whole point, right? You know, you work a long day. You know, this is the end of our work day, so yeah, why not?
Cheers.
Cheers. Good evening from New Orleans. From Creature.
Hey, Creature. I'll tell you what, Creature, I was in New Orleans a couple years ago, and that was probably the best 2 weeks of my life. It was so much fun down there. Beautiful. The food was great. People were great.
I love Cajun cooking.
Oh, dude. Listen, and you know me with my issues. I couldn't help myself. Yeah. It was well worth the pain.
Yeah. And you even got a tattoo, like spur of the moment.
I did. Yeah. Just cause. Yeah. Actually, the tattoo shop that I found, the guy was originally from Pittsburgh. Yeah.
What are the chances?
That's what I'm saying. So like, it was pretty cool. He wasn't really big on walk-ins, but he was like, "Wait, you're from Pittsburgh, and you know about like New Orleans, like voodoo type stuff." I had a Saran Bandit, a voodoo god on my leg. And
the top hat guy?
Yeah, Baron Samaday.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You're from way up north and you know about this? Like, yeah, come back tomorrow." You know, sweet.
New Orleans.
Yeah.
Ken Klingenberg. Hey, Dan, how's things in the Berg? Well, actually, it is a freaking beautiful day. It's, man, I don't even know what's the 60 degrees. So, I mean, not as hot as it has been, but, you know, it's been raining off and on. For those of you that don't know, Ken's a regular on the channel, and he's a fellow Yinzer. So we actually share a lot in common. Whenever you see him jump in the comments on a bunch of like premieres and live streams and stuff, he knows what he's talking about because he's from here. Yeah, that's one of those brother from another mother situations.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned, if you guys have any specific questions or anything, shooting the bull, whatever, please by all means dump in here. You guys know me by trade. I'm a mechatronics engineer by title, but I've done it all between mechanicing, welding, and fabricating to robotics and industrial manufacturing. Working a steel mill for a while. Like, I know I'm not old by means of anything, but I feel like I've lived a couple different lifetimes just from the experiences that I've had. And this cat, same thing, just in a totally different category. Like, he was a cop for quite a while, a truck driver for quite a while. Like, we kind of both been around the block for a while. So by all means, you got any questions, throw them in there. Hey Seth,
yep.
Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you, Ken.
Dropping the yins with the Z. In case you guys don't know, which this probably isn't true whatsoever, but I think it's a cool story, so I fly with it. The word yins, that's like Pittsburgh for y'all. You know, for you Southern folk down there that use y'all all the time, is just a plural to address a group of people. Well, here in the Berg, we say yins. And from what I can understand, yins is just the last part of the word Pennsylvanians. I have no idea if that's true, but that's the only explanation I've ever heard that makes sense. And we just kind of roll with it and it works. And you put a Z on it if you're from here. So everybody knows that it's a legit yin. People that do it with an S, they're trying. They're not actually burgers. Yeah.
I'll roll with that.
Hey, I like it. I heard that probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago.
Really?
And I don't know. I've yet to hear something better than that.
Yeah. Well, both my in-laws and basically their entire family is from the Pittsburgh area originally, so they might know. I can ask them. I'll get back to you on that.
I know it's just a melting pot here.
Yeah. Well,
Polish, Italian.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, my wife's in the comments. Ask your mom if that's true.
Tell us what we can use the freebie for. Well, in case yins don't know what an inspection scope is, actually, I got the one from the video from before. This guy here is just a bigger version of the same thing. So in case you guys didn't catch that video, it's basically just an HMI, a human machine interface, in case you guys don't know what an HMI is. So this guy simply just hooks up through, it's like an industrial Ethernet connection, kind of. Well, it's just basically a camera that comes back to you. It's a closed circuit thing for you as a technician or a plumber or a carpenter or whatever you do. But it gives you the ability to see stuff whenever you can't see stuff. So let's just say you're ripping the manifold off of something and you drop your favorite wobble socket down and you ain't never going to find it. Well, these guys, specifically these ones, have cool little attachments that go onto the end of the camera lens, like a magnet or a hook or like little grippy fingers or whatever. So now you can fish this thing down into the depths of your engine and stuff that you can't get. And now you can see what you're doing. You can light it up. You can grab it. You can pull it in. He said headlights. It's probably, I don't know, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
This dude calls me up. Is like, hey, I got burned out lights on my Jeep. Yeah, Jeep. He's a Chrysler guy. If that's the one thing we can hold against him, it's Chrysler.
Yeah.
But if you guys are familiar with these newer Jeeps, headlights ain't what they used to be. Like, I used to have an early 90s Chevy pickup where you just pull the pins out of the core support and the whole headlight comes out in your hands. That is not the case anymore. You got to tear apart the fender well. Passenger side, you got to remove the ECM and the coolant tank just to get your stupid hand in there so you can crank out the old H11 and put a new one in. And I tell you what, if it weren't for having one of these inspection scopes, there ain't no way I would have seen up in there just to know how you had to contort the 3 elbows in your left arm to get up in there to do it. So, I mean, it may seem like it's not that big of a deal to have one of these, but trust me, you have one, you will use it for all kinds of dumb stuff that you never even thought of. It's invaluable. We also say yuns and yuans. instead of you all or y'all. Yuns is
Listen,
more Western North Carolina thing. I can honestly say that I don't think I've ever said Yuns. Yuns?
yuns. I've done yuns.
Yuns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is yuns a slang? Yuns?
It's a slang of a slang?
Or is that like a past tense yuns?
Dude, you know where we went to high school. You know I'm not going to be able to answer that question. Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like we claim Pittsburgh, but we're close enough. People from around here know what I'm talking about. So there's probably like a 25-mile bubble in the southwestern portion of Pennsylvania. That as soon as you leave that bubble, and when someone asks you where you're from, you just say Pittsburgh because no one has any idea about any of the other small towns around here. We're probably, I don't know, 40 minutes north of the actual city of Pittsburgh, but we are very much so Yinzers. But at the same time, we are clean out in the sticks out here. There is nothing around here like at all. There is one or two local high schools, and it's.
And we used to drive tractors to our school.
Yes, that was a big thing. On the day of prom, you drove your farm tractor to school and you parked it out in front of the building, and everybody would gawk over. Oh, look, Dan's Oliver is bigger than Toby's John Deere. It's probably one of the most stupid redneck hillbilly things you could do, but actually, it's still a tradition that goes on today.
Yeah.
So if that tells you anything about where we are, it's a little more redneck than actual downtown Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm. Rich C, what's up, dude?
Rich C. So yeah, like I mentioned, if you guys are just hopping in here now, we are doing the giveaway for the Depth Tech. That's coming up. I promise you it will happen. We're just going to let this ride for a little while to give you as much chance as you possibly can to get in on this thing. And by all means, drop questions, comments, and whatever you want in the comments, and we will go full tilt on this thing and whatever you want to know.
How was Florida?
Oh, Florida. Yeah, okay. If you guys are avid followers of the channel, and I posted a bunch of crap that I was in Orange County not long ago, because you guys know that I'm heavy in the polymer sector of stuff. So plastics and injection molding and thermoforming and extrusion and all that crap. Well, there is a giant show that goes on in Orange County, Florida at the convention center once every 4 years. Like, it's so big, they only do it once every 4 years. They actually move around the power grid in the entire southern hemisphere of North America just to run this stupid show. Evidently, I don't know if there's any truth to this, but there are only two places in the world that can host a show of this size because of the power demand. And apparently it's Florida and someplace in China. This thing is called NPE, the National Plastics Expo. And I was there for 11 days and I did not see the entire thing. Now, mind you, I was working while I was there, so I didn't actually get the leisure around the whole thing and see what was going on. But the scale of this place is just absolutely unparalleled, like second to none. It was all the big names are there. Like, we're talking Husky, Hytien, Angle, Tederick, Cincinnati Millicron, and a gazillion other ones you never even heard of. There's a I don't know, an injection molder / robotics company called Yushin. They were huge. They had a big giant booth in there. Oh man, all kinds of robotic stuff. What's the big yellow? Fanuc. Fanuc had a big giant booth in the middle of that thing. And actually, there's another one coming up at that same convention center in October. It's called FabTech, which I'm really crossing my fingers that I get a chance to go to this one. It is all like metal welding and fabrication stuff. So it's like, if you like Jesse James, like that's what it's all about. Like, the big players at that place is going to be like Lincoln Electric and Miller and Hobart and ESAB, and anything that has anything to do with fabrication and metalwork and welding and cutting and grinding. I know they have a bunch of auto stuff there too. So if you guys get a chance, check it out. That's at the Orange County Convention Center in Orange County, Florida. I can't remember the actual name of that town. But I don't know, it's the only thing in that town. Trust me, we would go to Denny's for breakfast, and the lady said that whole place revolves around that center. It's kind of like Sturgis. They do
Oh,
one
okay.
thing
Yeah.
for like 2 weeks a
Yeah.
year,
Yep.
and the whole town survives off of that the entire time.
Yeah.
And it's, yeah. Oh, so you were a cop, and now you're a truck driver.
Yes.
So what was the deal with the transition?
Honestly, I mean, the same reason anybody changes any job. You know, the
sick of it.
Well, no, I mean, honestly, I did love that job. I really, really did. I do miss it, but you know, unfortunately, at the time, I mean, you know, where we live, everything's part time.
Yeah.
And when you know you start having kids, it's really, really difficult to support a family on pennies, pretty much. You know what I mean?
Not getting paid enough to get shot at.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, so I got out of that, and I was fortunate to have a little bit of money laying around, and went through CDL school and got my CDL, and now I'm kind of a truck driver.
Kind of a truck
driver. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, as long as you enjoy work.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not bad. There's worse things I can be doing.
Jared asks, both of you worked in multiple fields. Which was your favorite so far? I don't know. What's been your favorite career this far in life? Both of us are still on the uphill climb.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, I did love police work, and I do miss it. But definitely with the truck driving. I mean, the one company I worked for right down the road here. That's when I was down in New Orleans. I mean, I got to see a lot of really, really cool things. Got to go to a lot of really cool places. I was in New Orleans for 2 weeks. I was out in Iowa, and the hotel we stayed at was literally 1.5 miles down the road from the warehouse for the guys from the American Pickers TV show. So I got to go to their warehouse and walk around and check out a lot of cool stuff.
Archaeology.
Yeah,
I love that stuff.
Yeah, it was freaking awesome. And then did some deliveries out in Wisconsin. I got to walk around Lambeau Field, do stuff like that. I mean, it was really, really cool. But if anybody out there is an over the road truck driver, you got a family, especially small kids at home, it gets very, very difficult.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately had to.
This is the time in their life where you don't want to be away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess that puts it on to me. Favorite career? I don't know. Like I mentioned, I went through a lot of crap. Actually, I released a video a while ago after we hit the 100K thing as just like a thanks to you guys for like making this happen, because I mean, YouTube is a viewer based thing. Like I'm sure like all TV or whatever it is, like if Seinfeld didn't have a good following, it never would have got popular and ran for as long as it did. So, I mean, obviously YouTube's the same thing. It's all driven by you guys. So for the grace of God and your guys' forgiveness, you guys actually made this thing happen. So evidently a good portion of you actually enjoy what's coming out of Dan's Pro Shop, and I can't thank you enough for it. But I made a video when we got to the 100,000, just kind of like explaining me to those of you that may even want or care to know. So I'll give you a synopsis of that. But there is actually a video for that. If you look through the channel, it just says like, who is Dan's Pro Shop? Thank you, 100K, in case you want to watch the whole long form thing. But in high school, like I came from a family of all carpenters. So all the men in my family were woodworkers for generations. And I just kind of like wanted to break the mold and do something different. So in Votech in high school, I went for welding and fabrication. So I fell in love with that crap real quick. Because I mean, I found early on in life that I was just a handsy fella, ripping apart lawnmowers and stuff like that. So I wanted to be able to do fabrication in more depth. So I went to school to learn welding specifically. And by the time I graduated high school, I was actually a 6G certified welder in the state of Pennsylvania. I mean, it was through the AWS, so I don't know if that's actually a national cert, but I know specifically for the state of PA, I was 6G certified. Unfortunately, that only carries for so many years and you have to recert. But at one point in my life, I was 6G certified in 2 different processes. So I kind of got to like a crux after high school where I could either continue doing that or go to college. Well, I thought at the time that would be a great idea to go to college because, everybody pounds that in your head in high school. You got to go to school. You got to go to school. So I kind of took like the easy out, but that same avenue. I went to college to be a mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
In hindsight, that may not have been the best thing because I went to UTI in Exton, Pennsylvania. In case you guys are unfamiliar, it's clean out on the east side by Philadelphia, and it is a formal like 2-year vocational school. I know college is a loose term for it, but you just get a like graduation certificate, like a diploma out of all that. I mean, it looks really great. Like if you're going to work at a dealership or something, you can get Ford certified or international certified or Cummins certified or whatever. So like it gets your foot in the door in a lot of places. It is cool, but make sure that you want to do that before you invest the time and money into doing school specifically to be a wrench for the rest of your life. Because like me, I went through all that crap, got out of school, and I worked at a international dealership for, I don't know, 6 months before I realized how much I hated it and I did not want to do that for the rest of my life. I was clutches every day, federal inspections every day, pulling injectors, pulling sleeves and liners and Mac engines, and just it's the bad thing about semi trucks is they're like all the same. I mean, there are different makes and models and they have their nuances and everything, but with big semi trucks, there's only so many manufacturers that make engines for over the road trucks. Like there's like International, there's Pack Car, Cat used to, they no longer make road engines. I think that was like 2017 they got out of it. Now they only do
16
off-road.
or 17, yeah.
Because they didn't feel like dealing with the EPA and they're big enough and other stuff they don't care about over the road. And Cummins, I don't know. But either way, there's only so many manufacturers that make engines, not necessarily the truck that it's in. So like once you learn the ins and outs of those engines, they're all the freaking same. And especially the drive lines. They almost all have Eaton's or Dana rear ends. They almost all have Eaton 10-speed or 18-speed transmissions. I got out of the game before this new automatic stuff came along. So I'll be honest with you, I don't know much about an HD automatic transmission.
I can tell you right now, I've probably driven almost every brand of truck out there, and I've probably only ever seen an Eaton transmission. Like that. That was I've never seen anything else.
So I mean that drives a nail in the fact.
Yeah,
like you do a throwout bearing and a 10-speed Eaton, you've done them all. So it's the repetitiveness and the monotony of that job just got under my skin. Now, don't get me wrong, I learned a lot of crap. Like I enjoy working on trucks, but just not as a career. So, needless to say, I bailed out of that, and I was flipping through the newspaper. And if that tells you how long ago this was, I was looking through the classifieds in the newspaper, and a steel mill here down the road from where I live was hiring for welders and fitters. So cool. I used to, well, at the time I was still a certified 6G welder. So I went to the interview and they told me that they were hiring for $13 an hour for a full-time position. I kindly asked the dude, I'm like, are you hiring for anything that pays better than $13 an hour? He said, believe it or not, we had a guy just quit in the maintenance department. If you can fix stuff, maybe we'll throw you in that. Well, that was kind of the rest of forever. I fell in love with industrial maintenance at that place. So that was not necessarily a steel mill. Like they didn't melt scrap and actually create alloys there. It was a tube mill. If you guys are familiar, they would get sheet steel in, cut it out on a giant plasma cutter. I'm talking giant, like probably 200 yards long and maybe 80 feet wide. Like this thing was enormous.
That big?
It would cut out telephone poles. Imagine if you saw a giant telephone pole on the side of the highway and rolled it out flat into a sheet of paper. That's what this thing was. And then it would go up to a giant, I think it was 100,000 ton brake press, and they would bend it in order to make the shape of a pole and then get welded. So that was pretty much the cut and dry of this place, but the building was enormous. I mean, I think it had 7 or 8 bays, if you guys are familiar with like mill talk, and then each bay had 4 or 5 cranes in it, ranging anywhere from 5 ton to 70 ton. But I worked there, I don't know, probably 5 years. I absolutely loved that job because I fell in love with industrial maintenance. Unfortunately, the place closed down. They laid everybody off. So I'd probably still be working there if it wasn't for that happening. But there was a company in Texas that owned the whole thing, and they pulled the plug. So I went from there to being an equipment mechanic. I worked for a rental company, like JLGs and boom lifts and forklifts and crap like that. And same thing. It was cool. I enjoyed working on stuff. There was a lot more variability in that one that I really did like. But at the same time, you were in the elements year round. So it could be 110 degrees outside and you're doing something, or 10 degrees and you're laying in a foot of snow trying to change a belly pan on a dozer or something. It's just absolutely miserable. And it's a very much so a young man's game. If you're up there in age and you are out in the field equipment mechanic, here's to you, dude, because it makes you old fast, and I couldn't do it. So, yeah, wound up where we are now in industrial maintenance in the field of polymers. It was a complete freaking accident. I came home one day and I just passed the place and knocked on the door and asked if they were hiring. And here we are, all these years later, in industrial maintenance and polymers. I didn't know a bloody thing about plastic before all that happened, and now I know so much about plastic, it'll make your head spin. It's ridiculous. I just walk down the aisle in a store and I analyze all the bottles. It's horrendous. The old lady hates me.
I'll say your wife's got to love that.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Long story short, industrial maintenance is by far my favorite career. I'm sorry for ranting on that one, but some people have told me I have the gift of gab, so this works out well. Oh, what are we expecting from you coming up? Fixing, breaking, brapping, camping, or maintenance? Dude, all the above. I'm glad you brought up brapping. In case you guys can't figure this out, we are an MX family here. And there's a lot more crap out of frame you just can't see. But my life outside of my professional career definitely revolves around two wheels. And my two little boys that you may have caught in and out of videos here and there, the same thing. He's all about dirt bikes. He got his boys on dirt bikes. That's kind of like the thing up here. Like I said, we're in the sticks. So there's not much to do on the good side of the law around here. So,
well, if we weren't sitting around a fire drinking, we were riding dirt bikes, man. Like that's what we did.
Right.
Yeah.
You get your kids into a good hobby that's too expensive to leave money for drugs.
Yeah. That's literally it.
It's like, once you get them hooked on dirt bikes, that's all I care about.
Yeah, that's it.
I know as soon as I found out what a motorcycle was when I was a kid, you couldn't pry me off that thing. Mm-mm. And now I watch that same amazement and awe in my 3-year-old. It's unreal. Like, we just got him a CRF 50 for his birthday. 3 years old. And he's tearing the world up on this thing. And I tell you, the day that we gave it to him, we had to literally pry his hands off the bars because he had arm pump so bad he couldn't let go of the grips. Mm-hmm. But he didn't want to stop riding. It just reminds me of that late 90s Honda commercial, like, I want to ride.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just unreal. And it's amazing to see the crap that I loved growing up, coming through your kids. That's just so cool. But I don't know. We may throw some dirt bike material on the channel. Why not? There's plenty of crap around here that needs maintenance, and stuff breaks every time you touch it. So, like you guys know, if you're frequent to the channel, I just kind of put out there whatever I'm doing. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. Sometimes we have a series, like something comes after another or whatever. But honestly, it's just whatever project I'm getting into. If I feel like it's cool enough that maybe to share with it and maybe someone might get something genuine out of it. I'm not saying that I'm an expert in any field by any means, but I have caught up a lot of cool stuff along the way, from old timers telling me stuff, or just I broke something and now I know better. If I could pass that on to you guys and somebody can save themselves $1,000 going on Rocky Mountain buying a new clutch or something, they let me be the dummy so you don't have to be. What do we got here? If it helps that you're a goofball and seem likable. Well, thanks, creature. Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly the most straight-laced, button-up dude that you'll ever meet. But, in this industry, really any industry, I don't care what career you have or what job you have, if you're super straight-laced and just by the book, and you're just a miserable mother to be around.
You got to have fun, man.
You got to have fun. Work sucks. That's why they call it work. You got to do your best to have fun at it. Yeah. There is no point in going back. If you're going there just for money, find a new job. You got to have a little bit of fun, kick it with your coworkers, shoot them back and forth, make fun of each other. I mean, in today's world, I guess you kind of got to be.
Yeah, you got to be a little careful with that.
Yeah, put a toe in the pool before you start calling each other names.
Yeah.
Afternoon Productions. I came from a family of mechanics. Cool to hear your story. I'm the only electrician in the family. Welding and fabrication is awesome. Dude, I totally agree. And that's cool that you say that you're the electrician in the family, because our family is actually similar to that. We're fortunate enough that there's one dude in every category in the family. I'm the mechanic / Sparky in the family. So if someone has a broken car or the fuse broke on the furnace or something, I'm always the first phone call. we got a guy that's specifically HVAC. So if your air conditioner goes out in the summertime, you always call cousin Ryan, you know, and it's just like, we have a dude that works in the EPA for Rolls Royce. I know yeah.
Really?
Cousin Dave.
Really?
Cousin Dave in Ohio. Yeah. He spends half of his year in England because he runs EPA for Rolls Royce for the airline division for the engines.
That must be nice.
I don't know. No. He teaches at Slippery Rock U part-time for free for fun. He's one of those dudes that's too smart for his own good.
Oh, yeah.
But we bond over motorcycles.
Hey.
Yeah. And speaking of motorcycles, I know, but believe me, we start talking about bikes. We could do this all day, man. We could make this thing last for 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So there is this giant event in Lexington, Ohio, coming up in the third weekend of July called AMA Vintage Days. And this just happens to be the 100th anniversary of the AMA. So this one is supposed to be a huge blowout. I mean, it's always just every year. It's like whenever they close the gates to the public and it gets dark, everyone that's camping there, man, it's just a rowdy time. It's its own little Sturgis, but it's surrounded around vintage motorcycles. They have some on-road, mostly off-road. They have a giant road track, camping there, food, vendors, attractions. It's cool for all ages. You do whatever you want to do. But, dude, it is a hoot of a time. And I think to get a camping pass and to stay there for 4 days, it's like $350 or something. That includes everything.
That's not bad.
Yeah, dude.
That's cheap.
So if you're anywhere close to Ohio, I strongly suggest looking this up because it is one of the best times you can have on two wheels. It is just freaking awesome. And they have a swap meet in there that, I kid you not, it's probably, 20 acres. It's just the swap meet. Like, you can't walk the whole thing in one day. There's no way.
Well, you did a video of it last year, didn't you?
Yeah. There is a video on the channel of a tour of AMA Vintage Days last year. And I think that video is almost an hour long. And keep in mind, that hour-long video is me riding around on a dirt bike the whole time. It took me that long just to ride around the place. And that wasn't even the whole thing. So imagine if you're on foot, man, more power to you. You're going to get your steps in that weekend. But moral of the story is that thing is absolutely freaking awesome. And why I hit on that is because I found out about AMA Vintage Days because of Cousin Dave.
Oh.
Yeah, he lives like right down the street from that joint.
Oh. Well, so, thank you, Cousin Dave.
Yeah, it's absolutely freaking awesome. If you guys haven't been, you need to go. I'm telling you. So what's with the dirt scooter and you're going riding and recording? Well, Yins are really on the MX kick. I'm cool with that. So I don't know about specifically like recording while I'm riding because I'm not that techie with this stuff yet. I'd say 99% of this channel, what you guys have seen up until now, I do the whole thing with my phone that's in my pocket. Like right now, you guys are watching this live. Like you're even up on the TV here in the garage so we can see what's going on. This is all done on my iPhone. Everything from filming, recording, editing, uploading, doing all the tags and the links and everything. I do it all from my phone. So like if you need a little kick or something to start your own YouTube channel and like how easy is it? You have the tools in your pocket. It's free. The iMovie app comes on the iPhone. That's what I use. A YouTube account is free. As long as you have internet, you're in, man. You just got to have the ambition and the will and the want to do it. So as far as recording while I'm riding, I would assume you need a GoPro and all that stuff, and then separate editing software on a PC to do all of that.
Actually, so I know with my GoPro, when I was recording like all my races and stuff like that, there's an app on your phone that'll connect to your GoPro that'll take the video that you recorded and throw it to your phone, and you can do everything from right there.
Through like Bluetooth, or you have to plug it into your phone?
Yeah, no, you don't have to plug anything in. Like if I had my GoPro right here, I could turn it on, I could open the app, connect my phone to my GoPro.
No way.
And now whatever is recorded on my GoPro is now going to be on my phone.
You have to have Wi-Fi for the GoPro?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's still
no. So in order for it to connect to the phone, like it has to be under, it's technically, you have to connect it to the GoPro. Like
AirDrop.
Yeah,
yeah. That's pretty snazzy.
Mm-hmm.
But so I don't know. Maybe one day I'm going to tell you guys flat out that I am no Jeremy McGrath by any means. I mean, I'm more like Eli Tomac whenever he snapped his foot
I mean, you did save our ass that one time.
I don't know. It's okay. So yeah, we go way back. Like I mentioned at the very beginning of this thing. In case you guys are just dropping in here, this is my best oldest buddy Seth. We've been around forever together, so we quite literally grew up together. And he had what was it? YZ125?
Yeah.
What year? I don't even know.
It was an 02.
Okay, so at the time, a brand new machine, and we were younger then. I don't even know. That was
13,
middle school.
13, 12, 13.
I don't know.
Sure.
Something, whatever. We were kids. We had no business messing around with a machine that size.
No, especially me.
Not trained riders, that's for sure. So, I don't know. We were ripping through it somewhere. I don't know. There was this giant washout, and this thing had to have been probably 3 feet deep, maybe 6 feet wide.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me and him are on this thing.
Well, we're riding tandem.
Back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got sucked into this unbelievable rut, and we had to have been probably fourth gear tapped. No business going that fast.
No.
But pulled out of it.
Yeah, I don't know how, dude. Just, legs, arms, everything.
just a lot of cussing and heavy breathing.
Oh yeah, that was it.
We made it out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's unreal. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of memories going back with this crap. So you guys are just dropping in. Keep in mind that we are doing the giveaway for the depth stack here today in this video. I think we're going to shoot for doing this, I don't know, maybe in the next 10 minutes or so, as we're over the crest here on an hour. So I wanted to give as many of you guys as much option and ability as you had to get in on this thing before we actually yank it. So at the very top of the live stream chat, it's like the third one down. I put a link for the video that you need to go to for the drawing. Make sure you go to that video and that you are subscribed to the Pro Shop. You comment Dan's Pro Shop somewhere in the comments. I don't care whatever you write, as long as it says Dan's Pro Shop somewhere in there, because that's a filter that we're searching for through the Pick a Winner app thing. Make sure that you like the video and share it with a buddy, because all this criteria stuff we're going to put in here to make sure that you guys hit all this stuff, and then it will pick a random person from that. And I'm going to do this right here in front of you, so you guys know that I'm not pulling one over on you. It's just a random comment picker I found online. I don't even know what it is. It's YouTube random comment picker.com. So yeah, that's what we're shooting with, and it works. I tried it out earlier just to make sure that everything was kosher, reset everything, so we're good to go. Whenever we hit that magic time, and we'll shoot for 750. Let's just say that. So if any of you are looking for an exact minute, 750, we're going to go ahead and pull the winner for that. So make sure that you're entered before that happens, because once we click the button, there ain't no going back. Just letting you know that's what's going on. Oh, Mike Brown says hello. Hello, Mike Brown.
Hola, senor.
Excuse me while I get a cerveza here. So, as far as what's going on in the world of me at the moment, really not much crazy. Like, you guys know that this isn't my full-time gig by any means. This is just the side gig that kind of blew up to the point where it worked. And I use blow up generically. Like, dude, whenever I first started this thing, I was kind of talked into it. And I was like, there is no way that anybody in the world is ever going to care about what little old Dan from Pittsburgh is doing in his spare time, let alone at work. Well, it just so happened to work. And apparently Ian's get a kick out of what's going on here. And some people might actually get something out of it. So, yeah, the regular 9 to 5, I'm a mechatronics technician. Like, I do engineering and robotics and repair and electrical diagnostics and everything. So just today, I'm working on a cell for a customer. You know, this whole thing needs to be built from scratch, and we're doing wiring diagrams and pneumatics and plumbing and all this hardware that just nothing fits together. And it's, but yeah, I don't. It's frustrating, but it's awesome at the same time. Creating something from nothing, and then you actually get an end result that does something in a process in a manufacturing environment. Like, it's really cool to see all that stuff come from nothing. So I don't know. I thoroughly enjoy what I do, but boy, howdy, it can be super frustrating sometimes. I'm sure you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh. So what is your love-hate with your current gig?
Probably the commute is definitely my biggest hate right now. We just moved warehouses. So now my drive went from about 25 minutes to almost an hour every day. And with gas prices, I'm sure, I'm looking at $250 a week in gas. Yeah.
Well, you say you go to Leetsdale?
Yeah.
Yeah. In case you guys are unfamiliar, Leetsdale is even deeper than Pittsburgh. So
yeah,
from where we live, anyhow, it's a bit of a hike.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So, but the love, I mean, dude, honestly, the job it's an easy job. I mean, it's trucking. I mean, it's a majority of it is just dock stops. But a lot of the stuff. So what I do with my job currently is I deliver pharmaceuticals and supplies to all the hospitals in the Pittsburgh area and some surrounding areas. So I do get to meet a lot of really, really cool people, which, I mean, you've known me, like you said, we've known each other for over 25 years. I love to BS. I love to meet new people. I love to talk about cool stuff. So, I mean, so that's probably my favorite part about the job. But it's an easy job. I mean, a majority of it is, no touch, just bump and dock and go. So it keeps it simple.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep.
And cheers from shop here in California. Oh, I've never been. Have you been to California?
I have a couple times. I was in the San Francisco, Salinas, California area. I have two friends that they're brothers. They were in the Marine Corps. They were actually when Ben was getting into Afghanistan, he met his brother while he was leaving Afghanistan.
Huh.
Like they were going to this, like Jonathan was leaving, Ben was coming in. But they both moved out to California after they got out of the Marine Corps, and I spent some time out there with them. It was a good time.
Yeah,
it was really cool. Weather was awesome.
Isn't that like the only good part about California is it's awesome weather?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like a different world, man.
It is. It is completely different. No, it was fun. So the first time I went out there was for my buddy Jonathan, his wedding, and when we get out there, he picks me up in his now father-in-law's like 97 Tacoma. Okay, and it's an old 5-speed. He's got two buddies in the back. Neither one of them can drive stick, and technically his license was suspended at the time. So he was like, "Hey, here's an 8-lane highway. Congratulations." Like that was my introduction to California.
Figure it out.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know Texas is similar.
Texas is very similar.
Just massive highways everywhere.
Yeah.
It's miserable to drive in.
Yeah. If things would have gone differently a long time ago, I probably would have moved to Texas. Like, dude, Texas is, I love that place.
Yeah.
Well, you remember Timmy from school?
Oh, of course, yeah.
He lived in Houston for a while.
Timmy T.
Yeah. Shout out Timmy T.
Timmy T. Don't if you ain't watching, we'll tag you on it. Oh, somebody mentioned earlier about stuff what's coming down the pipe. I don't know if you guys. Obviously the Southwestern PA thing we keep on hitting on. There is a really cool thing that goes on here in the spring and the fall. It's called the National Pike Steam Show. And if you guys are familiar, another big channel here on the YouTubes, actually a dude that I follow quite often, Diesel Creek, Matt Stetter. I actually, believe it or not, we went down there 2 weekends ago and I got to meet the guy. And it was like a happenstance thing. I thought maybe he'd be there because he always shows this National Pike Steam Show on his channel. Like, oh, what are the chances of me actually running into this dude? And sure enough, I did. And I was fortunate enough, like I was able to make a little bit of a video down there. It's probably about a half hour long or so. I didn't get to get any footage with Matt because he was there working. You know, that's his job. He's a full-time YouTuber. It's gotten to the point in his life where it is his career. So, like, he's actually doing production down there, and, like, he's running his equipment, and he's doing his stuff with his crew and everything. But he took 15 minutes out of his day to chat and talk shop with me. And, yeah, it's awesome dude. It was a really cool experience. But I was able to, myself, film some of this experience and put together a little thing for you that's going to be coming down the line. So pay attention on the channel for that whenever it's coming. I'm not sure when, but I promise you it will, because like I said, this is my part-time thing. So editing and getting all this stuff together, I do it after I come home from a 10-hour day at work. So just keep that in mind and give me a little bit of forgiveness whenever stuff might be a little slow coming to you, because it takes some time to do. Meese Young. I'm an industrial MTC mechanic in California. It's processing facility, and yeah, it can get frustrating mostly to deal with pumps and motors. And oh God,
There's too many big words in that one.
I do not. This is basically a pooper plant.
Oh,
yeah, homogenization. No.
I'm good.
Yeah, dude, I don't. Mr. Young, hats off to you. It's God bless you. We need people like you in this world. Like Mike Rowe would shake your hand, but yeah. I'm sure that you're very good at what you do and you get paid very well for it because it's an in-demand job that nobody wants. So God bless you and keep at it because I know
he makes almond milk and soy milk.
We make almond milk and soy milk? Okay, well, there you go.
A little bit cleaner.
But still, man, you ever been on the business end of a cow? You get like unpasteurized milk, like right out of the thing?
Yeah, but it was mainly late nights out at our buddy's farm doing things we shouldn't be doing.
Cow tipping is a joke, by the way.
Yeah.
There is no you are not tipping a cow.
No, we used to grab a hold of their tails.
Yeah.
And they would take
redneck
off.
Skiing.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you that aren't country folk, I'm sure you've heard of cow tipping. We all have, but there is no such thing because cows weigh anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 pounds, and your little 150-pound 18-year-old butt is not pushing that thing over. Dude, not to mention, they don't sleep standing up, okay? Yeah. Cows lay down when they sleep. You know, they're mammals. That's how that works.
Nah, he makes nut juice. Even better.
I just repaired a homogenizer 30 minutes ago in my milk plant. Leak on the high pressure side. Well, at least if you get a leak on the high pressure side, you know exactly where it's coming from. Yes. You get a leak on the suction side, then you start cavitating. That's the one that keeps you, you don't know what's going on. But at least the high pressure, it's easy to find.
True that.
I know nothing about the type of work you do, but I find it very interesting. I love that you're a devoted family man. Well, thanks, Creature. I appreciate that. And it's cool to have people like you in on this stuff, because that was kind of like half the point here, that I try so hard not to be like condescending, dare I say. Like, it's difficult to talk about difficult topics that require specific nomenclature and like a specific knowledge background in order to convey it and not sound mean when you're trying to explain it. So I try very delicately to explain things in a simple manner, but not come off like a bad guy. So the fact that you would say that is, I appreciate it. And yes, I am totally a devoted family man. Like, my family is absolutely everything to me, because that's why we do what we do. That's why you get up and go to work every day. Like, if it was just little old me, I'd be living in a van down by the river.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care about me. It's supporting the people that need you for support. And that's what it's all about. So the fact that maybe I can pass off a little bit of knowledge to you guys and you can actually take it and get something from it, that's awesome. Like, that feedback is great, and I love to see that stuff. So thank you very much. Seth and Dan, great video. Oh, thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Which actually, that means we're coming up on the 750 mark. So here, I will whip this thing around so you guys can see what I'm doing here. You know, I'm not pulling one over on you. All right. You guys, I'm looking at the other screen here. So excuse me for three-handing this. All right, you can see I'm looking at the live stream right now. We're going to go over to the random YouTube comment picker. Go ahead, this is the link for that video that I've been preaching about this entire time. It's going to fetch everything from that video. Now, a keyword filter. I type in the keyword Dan's Pro Shop. This is why I asked you guys specifically to put in Dan's Pro Shop in the comments. Go ahead and continue that. Now, once we pick a winner, this is it, guys. Sam Dean 2851. Congratulations, Sam Dean. You are the winner of the giveaway here on Dan's Pro Shop of a brand new Depstech DS 260. I was actually thinking about this, how we're going to connect and not make this a deal. So I am going to reply specifically to your comment, this one from this video, and I will give you a means in order to contact me outside of YouTube. That way we can get together, confirm identities, and then I can get your information and send this guy to you free and clear, just to you through the US mail. I'll make sure that I get this thing to you. Might even throw some swag in there. You don't know. Maybe I'm feeling generous that day. But either way, thanks to all of you guys for getting into this thing. I can't thank you enough for the engagement and all the stuff that you guys have shared throughout this entire thing. And it's super cool. And the fact that we just got this type of engagement off of it lets me know that this is a good thing to get into, because you guys like it and I like a chance to give back to you guys. So again, in case you're just getting into this here, or maybe you're not even on right now, Sam Dean 2851, I will reach out to you because you are the winner of the free depth stack inspection scope.
Congratulations, Sam Dean.
Congratulations, Sam Dean. Thanks for being on the channel.
I need technical stuff. That you and me both, Creature.
That's
why I got this guy.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's very difficult not to come off condescending when you're talking about this stuff. Like, specifically when you're talking about like in-depth electrical stuff, like if you need to explain to somebody a rheostat, how to explain that without sounding mean,
a what,
is difficult. It's there's just so much crap that requires other background to understand what you're saying, and like sometimes it's frustrating from the teaching aspect because the student may or may not have the particular background they need to understand what you're saying. So you got to pull it back 6 steps just so you can get to the point where they understand what you're trying to teach them. It's, it happens. And I'm sure anyone that has a job or career, you've always trained a new person. It's how it is. You don't always get the person that you want. So you learn to teach off of your student. And don't take that the bad way. I'm not saying that like I'm a teacher, you're students. It's just that's what I try to do, is make this so it's easily palatable. And for the people that may not be in this industry, something that like, hey, I get what he's saying, so maybe you might be able to get something out of it. And the next time your furnace breaks in the middle of January, you might be able to pull the meter out of your drawer and fix it yourself instead of calling a repair guy. That's the whole goal here, is to maybe open up some doors that you may not have had open in your life before this point.
Well said.
I try.
It's like I was just thinking, like, if I had to sit through a conversation between you and my brother talking about the electrical side of stuff, no, I'd probably just go play in traffic.
And you know what sucks? It might sound condescending. Electric's the easy part of the job.
Yeah, that's why I mean, and someone was commenting on here that they're an electrician, and not to make fun of you, but I do make fun of my brother all the time. Tell him he needs to become a real tradesman.
Electric. Like actual like union sparkies always get the crap end of this stick. They never clean up after themselves. But you don't understand what it takes to be a Sparky.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much crap, especially like if you're on like the electrical engineering side of it, figuring out all the crap and like, you're wiring a new parking garage or something,
true that.
The amp draw that's going through specific circuits, or like what size conductor do I need to run this panel, or how many conductors can I fit inside of a conduit and still be in code, or like I need to put an LB in this wall, but I'm not sure if I can actually put those 3 conductors through that LB and still be within code. And there's so much crap that goes to be involved in that. And then you get on like the engineering, more, I don't know, like the control side of electrics, like doing PLCs and programmers, and that's like speaking Russision. Like if you do like ladder logic and like C++ and coding and all that, it's still, I would say that's still the part of the same category, but it's a totally different level.
I know he does a lot of like instrumentation.
Okay.
Like he's on like that aspect of it. So like I don't know.
So yeah, a lot of controls.
Yeah.
Any funny new guy mechanic stories? Okay. Yeah, like I said, we've all trained not so great people. So I had an apprentice at one point that, believe it or not, he was the son of the owner's friend. So if that puts this into perspective for you, the guy that owned the company, he had a friend and his kid needed a job. So I had a new apprentice on Monday morning, right? The kid, he was one of those ones where you just not like had to give him busy work to get away from you so you didn't smack him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I told him to go into the shop and drill some holes in something, right? He comes back to me 30 minutes later with a handful of smoked drill bits and said, none of these work. I'm like, well, I know for a fact all those are fine as long as you're getting them from where I told you to get them. I go in there, I was like, show me what you're doing. Spinning a twist drill in reverse. Can't get any of the holes to cut. So, yeah, I don't necessarily know if that's a funny or just utterly frustrating situation. But, it's just like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the things that you take for granted, like if you tell someone to go drill a hole in something, shame on me for just assuming that he knew the drill had to spin clockwise for that drill bit to work. I don't know. But at the same time, you don't want to be mean and talk to him like a 2-year-old. Like, no, the drill needs to spin this way.
I mean, well, sometimes you have to. I mean, that's like the,
I don't know.
That's like the old adage, like, you're learning how to hold a flashlight for your dad. Like,
we've all been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably the most standout-ish new guy story for me.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I know. That was years and years ago. But yeah, either way, guys, we're getting here close to the end. If you got any questions or comments, throw them in here real quick. Got about 5 more minutes of this. But yeah, touching back on it, Sam at Sam Dean 2851. Congratulations for being the winner of the DepthTech endoscope. I will get this thing out to you, and I promise I will reach out to you so you can get in contact with me personally outside of YouTube. So it won't be just like in a live chat or in the comment section or whatever. Like, we'll get hooked up and get everything to you safely and privately. But congratulations for hooking up and winning that. And thank you so much for being part of the Pro Shop. So you guys keep that in mind that, we're going to try our best to keep this thing rolling. Like, I wanted the chance to give back to you guys because you guys have given so much to me just by being part of this and showing your support and all your comments and your views and your shares and engagement and everything. It's just like, it's absolutely unreal. I can't believe how quickly this has blown up. So I'm going to do my best. I don't know exactly when the order of the live streams are going to happen because, like I said, this is my extra thing. I still have a full-time job and a family. So whenever I have time to do stuff like this, I do thoroughly enjoy doing it, but I can't do like an actual scheduled thing. It just kind of happens when it happens. But going forward, keep in the back of your head, if you see a thing for a Dan's Pro Shop Live, there is a solid chance that there is a free tool giveaway in that video. I'm not going to promise you it's going to be every time, but that's what I'm going to shoot to do. That I'm going to set up live videos around opportunities to get free stuff out to you. This is a little thanks from me back to you. And not to mention, you get to come and hang out in the shop for an hour, shoot the bull, do whatever you want. Any questions you want. You guys know what I'm into if you watch the channel. So quite literally throw anything at the wall, see if it'll stick. Even if I don't know, that will give me food for thought and I'll do my research because I love crap that I don't know. So if I genuinely don't know something, I'll be laying in bed later tonight. Like, what did Kenny ask about here? I don't know, because now I'm curious and I want to know. And then I will dig and find answers and we will talk about it later. I promise, because I thoroughly enjoy this back and forth stuff. It's really good. Well, I don't know, guys. We are getting close here to the end. I want to thank all of you so much for joining here on the Pro Shop for Dan's Pro Shop Live 2. And hopefully we can keep this train rolling and get out some more free stuff to you. So thank you guys so much for being part of this. And we will see you next time.